Have you ever bent over backwards for a woman, gifted her time, your money, your energy, only to be left wondering, why did she still leave? You were loyal. You showed up. You provided. You protected. And yet, none of it stopped her from walking away. Now pause and ask yourself, if all that wasn't enough, what is? Here's the brutal truth most men never hear, or worse, refuse to believe. Women don't care what you do for them. They are loyal to one thing and one thing only. And unless you know what that one thing is, you'll keep doing more while getting less. You'll keep giving and giving thinking that effort equals devotion. But in her world, effort doesn't equal loyalty. It equals expectation. Let me explain. Loyalty in a woman isn't built like loyalty in a man. You can give a man resources, protection, loyalty, and he'll ride with you to the end. A woman, she operates on feeling, not on facts. And the man she stays loyal to isn't Theon who provides the most. It's the man who makes her feel the most. Think about it. How many times have you seen a woman abandon a safe, responsible guy for someone unpredictable, for someone who brings chaos, mystery, even danger? You scratch your head thinking, what does he have that I don't? You gave her everything. He gave her a headache, yet she still chose him. Why? Because what you thought mattered didn't, and what you ignored ruled everything. She wasn't loyal to your actions. She was loyal to how she felt in your presence. Now here's where most men get trapped. You try to be the perfect guy, the gentleman, the provider, the listener. You kill yourself, showing her that you're better than the rest. But she never asked for a savior. She craves something else, something primal, something powerful. She wants emotional alignment. She wants to feel your strength without you needing to flex it. She wants to feel seen without you smothering her with validation. She wants to feel challenged without you treating her like a project. And above all, she wants to feel your center. If you lead with emotion and desperation, she feels it and loses respect. If you lead with grounded energy, she trusts it and leans in. Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard a woman say, I don't know why, but I just can't stop thinking about him? That's because he didn't overinvest. He didn't try to impress. He just existed in a state that made her feel something she couldn't explain. That's what she's loyal to. Not your gifts, not your gestures, but the unspoken power of your emotional blueprint. And here's the twist. You can't fake it. Pretending to be grounded while secretly obsessing over her won't work. Women are emotionally intelligent. They feel when something's off even if you never say a word. So, let me break it down. Women don't remember what you gave them. They remember how your presence made them feel. Were you calm or chaotic? Did you bring clarity or confusion? Were you her anchor or her storm? These things matter far more than your income, your car, your apartment, or your sweet texts at 2 a.m. Now let's go deeper. What are the actual traits that make a woman loyal? It starts with emotional control. If she says something to test you, do you get triggered? If she becomes distant, do you panic and chase? When a man reacts emotionally to a woman's moods, she sees him as unsafe, unstable, unfit to lead. But when a man remains composed even when she's spinning, she feels magnetically drawn to him because he provides what she cannot create on her own. Inner stillness. The feminine craves masculine stability. Not control, not dominance, but stability. That's why the man who stands tall in storms is Theon she returns to, even if she runs away first. She wants to know you won't bend for her, that you won't lose yourself in her emotions, that you can handle her intensity without falling apart. Because when you can hold your frame, you give her something every woman craves but rarely finds. A man whose peace cannot be shaken, and that is where her loyalty begins. Here's a little humor to reset your brain. If women were loyal to gifts, every guy would just buy her a lifetime supply of chocolate and diamond rings, right? But sadly, we all know even that sometimes ends with a thanks for the gifts goodbye moment. So loyalty is not about the shiny stuff. It's about the invisible energy you bring. Now here's a cliffhanger for you. What if I told you that the way you handle her tests is the single biggest predictor of whether she stays loyal or not? So now you know the key to her loyalty isn't found in your effort. It's found in your essence. But how do you cultivate that essence? It begins with understanding the test. Whether she knows it or not, every woman tests. Not maliciously, but instinctively. She's wired to seek strength, emotional strength. So how does she test? She pulls away. She acts cold. She gets moody. She contradicts herself. She says things that make no sense. Why? To see if you'll break. If you become emotionally reactive, she sees instability. If you start explaining, apologizing, chasing, she feels power. And once she feels power over you, her attraction begins to die. Let that sink in. The more you need her approval, the less she trusts your leadership. But here's the flip side. The less you chase, the more curious she becomes. The more grounded you are, the more magnetized she feels. You don't even have to say anything. Your silence speaks volumes. And now we enter the domain of stoic masculinity. A stoic man doesn't get lost in her moods. He doesn't collapse to keep her happy. Heston's rooted in his values. Whether she loves him or leaves him, this isn't coldness. It's power. Because when you're not afraid to lose her, you show her something rare. A man who can walk away. And believe me, nothing commands more respect than that. Now here's where most guys go wrong. They try to become this man overnight. They suppress their emotions. They fake confidence. But you can't fake internal mastery. You have to live it. It means getting brutally honest with yourself. Why do you overgive? Why do you seek validation through her responses? Why do you need her attention to feel enough? Until you address these core wounds, your outer strength will always be a mask. And women see through masks instantly. But when you heal, when you stop performing and start embodying, you become unshakable. You become the man who doesn't chase, who doesn't beg, who doesn't explain. You simply walk away when your peace is threatened. And that walk is unforgettable. That's why women never forget the man who left with dignity. The man who didn't slam the door or send 10 text messages. He just vanished because he values his energy more than her drama. And that's the paradox. The man she thought she could replace suddenly becomes irreplaceable. Let me pause here and ask, have you ever seen a woman suddenly obsessed with a man after he disappeared? That's no coincidence. Absence amplifies respect and desire. But not just any absence, an absence with boundaries. An absence that says, I respect myself too much to be treated like a doormat. You don't have to be loud or dramatic. You just have to be firm. And here's a humorous thought. Imagine if you treated your phone charger like some men treat their peace of mind, constantly begging it to work, apologizing for using it too much, chasing after it when it disconnects. You'd probably buy a new one. Your peace deserves better too. So how do you build this presence? First, learn to master your emotions. Meditation, journaling, or stoic reflection can help. Understand that your emotions don't own you. You own them. Second, set clear boundaries. Know what you will accept and what you won't. And don't be afraid to enforce them, even if it means uncomfortable moments. Third, develop a life outside of her. Hobbies, friends, purpose. A man who's whole without a woman is magnetic. He's not needy, not desperate. He's free. And freedom, that's the ultimate attraction. Because when you live for yourself first, you create a magnetic field that pulls the right woman toward you. Now, here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. What if loyalty is less about her and more about you? What if the woman who stays loyal is simply the woman who recognizes your unshakable value? That's the power shift. No longer chasing a woman's loyalty like a prize to be won, but standing so tall in your truth that loyalty becomes her choice, not your demand. And remember, this doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable or cold. It means being emotionally present without being controlled by her moods. It means strength, not stiffness, love, not neediness. And as you walk this path, you'll realize the truth that many men never do. Women aren't disloyal because they're heartless. They're loyal only to what feels real and strong. Fake it and she'll see through you. Be it and she'll stand by you through any storm. If this message opened your eyes, hit that like button. Subscribe for weekly insights on stoic masculinity and female psychology. Share this video with a brother who's tired of being used and wants to understand the deeper truth. Because loyalty isn't a gift you give a woman, It's a reality you become. So build your foundation, stand your ground, and watch the kind of loyalty that once seemed impossible become your new normal. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and remember, she's not loyal to what you do. She's loyal to who you